What's going on, everybody? This is Frankie from Gangs All Here, and today we're going to do a player profile and projection from one of the most unique prospects coming out of this draft, and that is Ohio State linebacker / edge Arvell Reese. Now, a lot of people believe that Arvell Reese will go 2 overall to the Jets. He's been mocked a ton of different places going 2 overall, but I'm going to be real with you all. I like Reese, don't get me wrong. I don't love him at 2, however. To me, Arvell Reese is an off-ball linebacker more than he is an edge rusher. However, he can probably potentially do both. There is a difference between a guy who can rush the passer consistently and a guy, though, who is a pass rusher. And I think that matters a lot when you look at the 2nd overall pick and the draft capital that pick holds. Arvell Reese now, he is a heat-seeking missile against the run and even against quarterbacks trying to scramble outside the pocket. However, when you look at him as an edge, which he only played about half of his snaps, he struggled a little bit at times to get to the quarterback consistently. In his last 6 games, for example, he didn't have a sack, but again, we're projecting Arvell Reese as an edge in the NFL or somebody that could do both, a hybrid off-ball that can also play edge. Where do we see him going? Probably 2, but he could fall as low as 8 to 10. But there is no doubt about it. When Arvell Reese is on that football field, he's a nightmare for opposing defenses, and quarterbacks lose sleep thinking about him on the other side of the football. All right, everyone. This is play 1 of Arvell Reese. Just notice all the different things you can do with this guy. A true chess piece, or how I like to call him, a joker. Can line him up anywhere on a football field, and he could basically do anything on a football field. Let me show you. Look at Arvell here. Lined up as an off-ball, right? Look at the timing of this delayed blitz. I mean, this is the stuff that defensive coordinators dream about. Delayed blitz, bam. Tackle can barely get their hands on him. I mean, if you scheme up a delayed blitz with Arvell, you are going to force pressure on the quarterback. Look at the timing here. Timing's perfect. A little dip, bam, game over. I mean, this tackle doesn't have a chance. And the tackle even sees him. But the depth that Arvell is at, and look at the hands, bam, swipes down, dips, game over. I'm home. This is the kind of stuff that makes Arvell Reese so special. Dip, bam, there. I mean, you're not going to get an easier sack than that. That's against Penn State too. So you're not talking about a secondary or a second-tier kind of school there. So this is something about Arvell that gets me the most excited, is how he is able on these delayed blitz to really get home. All right, now, I mean, look at this guy. I mean, he's just incredible. In this role right here, Arvell's playing a little bit of a robber here, meaning he's showing that he might blitz. Again, you're going to be a little bit cognizant of the fact that he is someone that may blitz, he may drop in coverage, he may do neither, which in this case he does neither here. But you never really know with him. So look here. Here he pretends to blitz. Oh, stays there playing the robber, the QB spy. Good luck, man. Bam. Done. 1 yard loss. I mean, this is the stuff you can do with what we refer to, and the NFL community, as a true chess piece. Pretends like he's blitzing, right? But blitz, no. Then pretends like he's dropping in coverage. No, I'm actually spying the quarterback. What's the quarterback doing? Heat-seeking missile. Bam. Needs no help. Got right home. That's the stuff you can do with Arvell Reese that really just makes him so special as a prospect in this draft. Obviously, and the other thing here is the guard can't get his hands too close to Arvell, or else he's an illegal man downfield. So there's only so much that the guard can do here. But you have Arvell, the missile attacks and delivers. Now, the next play is something that gets me, somebody that wants to look at Arvell as an edge, excited. Because here you see Arvell goes in a traditional. This is an outside linebacker in a 3-4, right? 3-4. He's your outside linebacker. Look at what Arvell could potentially do as an edge in a 3-4 outside linebacker. Bam, hands. Bam, knocks back right tackle that's been playing there for a while in Illinois, in Priestley. I mean, that kid's 350 pounds. Arvell's got no problem. Bam, hands. Look at that one arm. I mean, look at that separation there. This guy is done. He's got all the leverage. This is another thing with Arvell. She's extremely strong for somebody his size. Not the biggest guy in the world, but look at that one arm there. Look at that separation. Then he's got all the control. Sack. I mean, this is what makes Arvell Reese a prospect that a lot of teams are projecting to go in the top 2, top 4. I mean, look at the timing too. He's going as the ball is snapped. Bam, one arm, separation, little bull rush, more hands. He just gets home. I mean, this is the stuff, again, the joker roll, the chess piece. This is the stuff that defensive coordinators dream about when they look at a defensive player, especially when you're running a 3-4. This is a 3-4 alignment. Look at that timing. Bam, bam, one arm, separation, home. That's why Ohio State had one of the best defenses in football last year, one of the best defenses over the last 5 years in football because of players like Arvell Reese. Timing, bam. And I love the little dip here where he gets a little dip just because this is a big dude at right tackle, but he gets enough dip to get the leverage, knocks him back, one arm, separation, rehands, fights, wins. I mean, just a great overall rep by every single essence of the rep. You're not going to get a better rep from an outside linebacker edge than there. This is the thing that is Arvell's bread and butter. So if you thought what I just showed and how you can use him isn't his bread and butter, this is actually his bread and butter. Arvell playing a 4-3 outside linebacker, right? Just sniffs it out. Look at that. Look how Arvell is constantly diagnosing things. He sees the player in motion right here. He knows someone's in motion, something's happening. He can smell it. Look at him. Look at where he is right now depth-wise. Bam, hands, rip, bam, easy tackle. Doesn't need help there. Just sees it. Hands, keeps his leverage, completely square to the line of scrimmage. Look at that. Tackling form perfect. Go after the ankles and the knees. Running backs don't want you going after their ankles and knees. He's home. That running back, no gain. I mean, when you look at Arvell Reese, this is the kind of stuff that makes him so special. You know, you go from the delayed blitz clean sack. You go then to him playing the robber card as a QB spy, pretending to blitz, right? Pretending back, right? QB spy. This offensive lineman can't go to him because he's going to be an illegal man downfield. Heat-seeking missile. Done. Then you get him playing that traditional edge roll on the 3-4. Bam, knocking a guy back, one arm, bam. All right, Arvell Reese's strengths. Number 1 is closing speed. This guy sideline to sideline is a heat-seeking missile. He covers ground at a rate that doesn't make sense for his size, and he looks like someone from another planet at times. Good luck avoiding him. Second, his run defense and tackling. This guy barely misses tackles, knows how to flow in traffic, and gets his hands on the ball carrier and doesn't let that guy go. He has one of the best forms when it comes to tackling out of all linebackers in this draft. Third, the chess piece versatility that Arvell brings is truly special. He can rush the edge. He can delay blitz. He can spy the quarterback. He could drop back into coverage. This is something that any defensive coach would want, especially someone like Aaron Glenn, who plays a lot of hybrid sort of sets. Fourth, and this is where things get interesting with Arvell, his pass rush upside. If you look at him at certain times, you look at Micah Parsons at other times. It reminds me a lot of him at certain points throughout a game. Arvell Reese is somebody that if he can develop the pass rush moves necessary and get the proper coaching, he can be a 14 to 15 sack a year guy. All right, now let's get into Arvell Reese's weaknesses. Pass rushing for him needs a lot more layers. He wins with athleticism, usually not instinct. He wins with strength, not really with counter moves. There's a reason he had no forced fumbles and 0 sacks over his last 6 games. If you're projecting him as a full-time edge, you want to see that productivity, not the what if. Second, he gets a little bit too aggressive at times. He'll bite hard on play fakes. He'll miss cutback lanes sometimes that backs are hitting. Why? He attacks too aggressively. He is that heat-seeking missile, but you miss when you're constantly looking to be that missile. Third, and this is something as an off-ball that will affect him more than as an edge. In coverage, he's late at gaining depth. Sometimes short area quickness when it comes to slot receivers or tight ends can get him a little bit off balance. He can play a little bit with his head down and not always be able to sniff out exactly what's going on back there. And the biggest question with Arvell Reese from me, and this is a big question, was he a little bit a product of that Ohio State defense? Because if you look at what that defense had, he had Caden McDonald in front of him, he had Sonny Styles next to him, and he had Caleb Downs behind him. Not to mention Matt Patricia, who we all know is an NFL caliber defensive play caller, was calling the defense there at Ohio State. Did that help Arvell a little bit? Did that free him up more than he'd usually be freed up at the NFL level? With that said, I think with Arvell Reese, we need to decide, is he Deion Jordan, Isaiah Simmons, or is he Micah Parsons? All right, everyone, so here's the deal with Arvell Reese. He has the tools, he has the mentality, he has the athleticism. The real question becomes, is he going to be able to rush the passer at an NFL level consistently? There have been people that have projected him to play off ball on early downs and be a pass rusher on passing downs. Easier said than done. I am curious to see how defensive coordinators use him, and he'll be one of the most intriguing prospects from now until draft day.